Hey, I'm doing a YouTube thing where I get ignored. Hey, I'm doing a YouTube thing where I ask random people what they're listening to.
The audiobook of the complete works of Shirley Jackson. I just play that continuously in place of the audio of real life, albeit sometimes you can barely tell the difference.
Cool. Wasn't expecting that. And where are you going to? I see. Can I ask you another question?
No, the girls aren't actually into you, except for the one time they are, so it's exactly like life in general.
No, I was wondering.
Because if you could double your annual income with one surgical procedure, you'd do it too.
No,
Because being a cam girl is ultimately a social enterprise, and I hate talking to people. Also, I fucking love my job.
Okay, that makes sense. But also, I was gonna segue into asking what music you use at work?
Oh, well, if I were music, it would be something dark and idealistic and free of words as it danced at night, alone, because human connection is only a rumor, so yeah, mostly synthwave. I wrote a postgraduate essay that anticipated the rise of the genre and how it was prefigured by increasing cultural isolation and perpetual nostalgia for things from roughly 23 years ago. I was always proud of that.
I feel like you're overqualified to work here.
Everyone is overqualified to work everywhere. That's the basis of the economy. I'd moved to a small town, but I've read way too much Shirley Jackson.
Just one more.
A writer from the 50s that resonates with loners.
Surprisingly common follow-up question. How come you're alone?
How is anyone alone in this world when you can shoot at someone from across the map and they will immediately drop what they're doing and move heaven and earth to come after you like you're bound by cosmic fate?
Right? Like the slightest human contact and it's just till death do us part. I noticed that immediately with this game. It's like, oh, look out!
Dude, that was just superbly executed. I need a cigarette and a shower after playing with you.
Yeah, you do. The worse I am at real life, the better I am at this game. I'm sure there are more appropriate things I could be doing, but this doesn't cost any money for whatever reason.
Oh, I know. It gets my maximum rating. 3 out of 10. Same score I give to masturbation and shoplifting from self-checkouts.
Oh my god, high five.
Almost had him. Go again?
Ugh, you know what? I can't. I have to be somewhere in 20 minutes or 20 minutes ago, I forget which. You know how it is. It was honestly really great to meet you, Anonymous 34546.
You too, Anonymous 94302. I never pair up with randoms because...
Because people are the worst?
Yeah, that would be it. But this is legit the most fun I've had in a while. What are the chances, eh?
I don't know anyone in real life who plays, so this has been amazing. I might be on later, who knows? Maybe I'll see you again sometime?
Yeah, man. I hope so. Oh, shit. Weird neighbors I've never interacted with. Just pretend to look at your phone.
Nice. Didn't even have to smile and nod. That was just superbly executed.
I'd say I'm alone because everyone looks different on the outside and therefore attracts people who like how they look. But that's not a connection, it's just following something around.
Yeah, I can see that.
Despite that, I'm still leaving work early to go to speed dating. I guess dating is the one thing where you have to overlook the definition of insanity. Or I just haven't yet hit that precise moment where you give up.
Oh, nice. What kind of guys are you into?
I don't know, someone decent and educated who likes reading and aspires to more in life and knows how to meaningfully interact with someone who has intimidating amounts of sexual confidence.
Huh. Too bad.
There was nothing left to say.
It is too bad. I think I just self-sabotage when it comes to finding a partner. I know I do, and yet I keep on doing it.
All I have are suggestions that are super easy to say, but hard to actually do. And therefore worthless, aka advice.
Oh, I hate advice. Still,
You know what? Just make eye contact with the person in the room you find most attractive and see what happens. They'll probably stop what they're doing and come over to talk to you. It's a bar. What are the chances they don't?
okay. I think I can do that without sabotaging it.
Stealing hours from the week.
I can't come over. We're in different worlds. I wish I could explain it. I just can't find the words.
God damn it.
I mean, I know I have a lot of good qualities. I say, let me know if you need anything, but I actually mean it, and I specifically want to prevent other people from feeling the types of pain that I've felt. Very few problems in the world are caused by people like me.
I think a lot of people can say that, though.
No, I know. I'm not uniquely good or special. I've never felt beautiful or had more money than the previous year. I think I could just really be value added to someone else's life, you know? Couldn't I?
Well, you'd have to give up those childish video games, though.
Yeah, but that's alone stuff.
Oh, you mean the bottomless pit you can pour time and love into in lieu of having another person in your life until you're out of both and feel worthy of neither?
Yeah, that's right.
But I do feel worthy. I go through life and people keep telling me I'm one of the good ones, to my continual surprise, but maybe that means something. I like people. I'm sure I could be nice to one of them on a regular basis, but to find that, you need to be so presumptuous and bold and other things that do cause problems in the world.
You have to risk the time and sanity of someone else too, and maybe I don't want to hurt them, or myself, again, repeatedly.
Plus, we're all trying to be ourselves despite the expectations of traditional gender conventions, like a Halloween costume you can't take off, so you just try to wear accurate t-shirts.
Plus, I either want no sex or constant sex, and I can't figure out which.
Plus, I pay for 5 separate streaming services, but I just watch YouTube all day. If I did that to another person, I'd be in jail.
Plus, you have anxiety to the point where it's like a hostile entity following you around and conversing with you?
Yeah, you see. You get it.
Right when I close my eyes before I wander off to sleep.
Yeah, too hot. Out of your league. Hey, I know you. Keep walking, loser. She's out of your league.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Nothing. Goodbye forever.
God, I'm good.
Hey, everyone. I don't do comedy, but I almost do. But that's what you get when you almost live in a society. I mean, who here was fine back in school, though? Right? Yeah, school, right? Turns out school actually was cool. So you're in the same place every day, always told what you're supposed to be doing, so you can focus entirely on what you think and what you like and who you like, and everyone dresses how they feel, instead of now, where clothes are the only thing you can control, so everyone's just a pain mannequin with a super nice leather jacket. School had parameters, but then it ends. And here in real life, what are the chances a stranger looking at you means I like you, when it could easily mean I hate you, or I'm thinking about a website from 2002 that no longer exists and not noticing where I'm staring? Plus, you've already made 375 decisions today, so it's easy to want to create your own parameters by, going home and staying there.
He was 16, his dad told me how to ride through the countryside on Sunday drives. He said man's connections tend to break up, whether or not you're civilized and make up. I'd rather just find a book to take up. Earth is a hard place to live.
Hey, maybe we find each other physically attractive, or we can just get along on a basic level, and we're given so little in life that it's impossible to not assign meaning to that.
So let's embark on the weeks or months or years of the horrible, gradual realization of how little that actually means.
And if everyone you meet is incompatible, then maybe the problem is you.
Also, do you know where the washroom is?
Oh yeah, there's the precise moment I gave up.
Sorry, you're what?
Omnisexual. It's where you're potentially attracted to anyone, and so you maximize your potential to be attracted to unattainable people because society tells you that the only thing that's valuable is what you can't have.
That sounds hard, I guess.
Not as hard as when you and your estranged brother are the only 2 people who show up to speed dating.
Yes, this certainly is a poorly attended event.
So what would you be saying to someone else right now to fool them into thinking you're a super awesome guy?
I don't have to fool people. I just tell them I'm a decent, educated guy looking for someone who's outgoing and smart, with a love of American literature and a side of sexual confidence, who's passionate about their career and is financially where I aspire to be rather than where I am.
Oh, you mean someone who doesn't apocalyptically share a one-bedroom apartment with their hated sibling because the higher the rent goes, the lower the bar goes for farcical living situations?
Yeah, that. Where I just capriciously sat in a strip club for the first time because the absolute zero chance of something happening was better than going home. Nothing ever leads to anything in this city. I'd give up and move to a small town, but I've read way too much Shirley Jackson for that. Plus the racism.
Plus, I fully intend for you to die in a fire.
I cannot believe this isn't even the worst date I've been on.
Oh, dude, this isn't even top 50 for me. P.S. Fuck you.
And you. Table for one, despite what my sweet haircut would indicate.
Hey, plenty of space. We recently added a bunch of smaller tables due to a lot of people dining alone.
Ah, I specifically love it.
Yeah, it's what we have instead of low prices. Also, it encourages talking to strangers, which is cool.
I no longer love it.
But I'm already here.
I know, but I feel we get so used to not having things we forget that people are everywhere. You could be sitting next to the best friend you'll ever have and not even know it.
Yeah, but...
What are the chances of that?
'Cause I am who I am. Oh, sometimes I think it's wild how clearly I see your smile some nights before I fall asleep. And I wonder if you do the same for. Oh, sometimes I see a smile right when I close my eyes before I wander off to sleep. And I wonder if you ever think of me. And I wonder if you ever think of me.
Take the reins from me.
How does anyone meet anyone?
Hey, I'm just the imagined Star Wars-esque ghost of your dead brother, so technically I only know what you know.
Alright, what do I know?
You maybe don't actually want a relationship. You just want to feel better about being single?
But until then...
Well, if dating apps alone were enough, no one would be single. We need an additional factor.
Oh, like a near-death experience, or a weird dating strategy like radical honesty, or reverse catfishing that elaborately bypasses the self-delusion we all rely on to keep society from disintegrating into a bloodbath, but which also makes human connection difficult to the point of wondering how anyone meets anyone.
Yeah, or just have self-esteem. Whichever you find easier.
I see.
She's not what I usually go for, but maybe I've always foolishly ignored some great people on my quest to perfectly match with someone as literate as a dictionary, but then magically also as thick as one.
The legendary Fictionary. Yeah, not hugely realistic.
Indeed. So now I'm actually on my way to meet someone instead of swiping left and not.
So what's she like?
Kinda like me, glasses, smart, dances as a kid, hates every TV show. Not successful, perhaps, but not unsuccessful.
I guess.
Okay, yes, she's a meek, sexless, underemployed nerd, but honestly, I love what she has to say. It's exciting to me. I obsess over physical chemistry, but maybe that's why I'm constantly expecting one thing but getting another? Well, that's not gonna happen anymore. So is there a word for this?
Reverse catfishing.
I see. The truth by omission? That's creative, I suppose.
There are two kinds of people. Those who find you attractive regardless of your personality, and then the opposite. So you need to weed out the first group by targeting the second.
But the text was accurate, i.e., you actually are an antisocial weirdo who solely watches documentaries about how stupid everyone is, yet is squandering years of fancy education in an unspecified, unskilled career?
All true. My goal was to make it possible to actually see and connect with all that. How do you meet people in general, let alone on a sliding gradient of appearance and mentality being inversely proportional in a dystopian societal context of entrenched standards bias?
Okay, that was the kind of sentence a TV show would use as a joke to indicate confusing big words, but you actually talk that way. And now to marry you.
As much as I'm jaded enough to marry anyone who doesn't ration their syllables, there's a lot of other stuff we have to do in reverse first. This now is what I call a turbo date. I use innovative methods to mitigate the things that preclude human connection. Like a zany sitcom scenario, but actually. So, are you in? And answer quickly. The truth is lost in consideration. You know, is killing wrong? Yes, but what if it's justifiable because, they did this, so maybe they deserve it. And we do have the right to defend ourselves, and it's really only thou shalt not murder, and then all of human history and... sorry, go ahead.
Well said, actually. You know what? I'm sick enough of reality to be interested in whatever you have lined up next. I mean, if that's what it takes to get to know someone who somehow interweaves escalating Shirley Jackson quotes into the sexual act, then sure, I don't mind leaving it to bed within minutes of meeting.
No live organism can continue for long to live sanely under conditions of absolute reality.
Well, do you literally have a tattoo that says Dictionary?
Okay, so we've established physical attraction and that you're also surprisingly giving in bed. Really good so far.
The system works. So what else?
Well, ideally, I'd now have my friends vet you, but I'm sort of between friends, so we'll just see what some acquaintances at the bar think. You talk to them, they talk to me, maybe we keep talking.
I look forward to the challenge.
Do you look forward to it too much, though? Maybe you're the kind of person who does things they don't actually want to do just to prove you can. And what does that say about how you feel about failure?
I mean, I don't feel great about it. I'm not going to go along with someone I'm not into just to avoid failure, though.
I don't know. I'm really good at failure, if that sentence even makes sense.
It does not.
And I know that wanting to avoid it is definitely a thing. There's looking across the room and finding someone hot, and then there's the additional factor that you're sick of getting out of bed and paying rent and thinking your friends hate you and never feeling like you work hard enough and waiting for a better future that never actually arrives.
And then going back to bed and fantasizing about abandoning your life and moving to a basement in Estonia where nobody can get in touch with you, and that's the most relaxation you get during the week. And then eventually you're in a New Yorker article about old people who die alone in their apartment and aren't found for months, and a distant acquaintance from school has to dispose of their belongings. Maybe I just want to avoid that. Maybe that would be enough. Maybe just not dying alone would be enough success. Maybe that's understandable. Maybe we all have insane reasons for pairing up, and the real beauty of relationships is what you build on top of all that panic and randomness and fear.
Oh, I read that article. That's why I'm trying to find someone.
Oh, nice. Me too. Cheers.
So, what did you think?
Oh, he's great.
No red flags.
No, not that I could see. And I would know. This shirt I'm wearing is literally made from repurposed red flags for the fall of the Soviet Union. Also, I suck.
Oh, you do not.
Shut up.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
Don't talk to me.
Sorry, no, wait. Damn it.
Anyway, looks like you passed the test, i.e. whatever bad qualities you might have didn't rise to the level of distracting people from talking about themselves.
I'm glad to have met the challenge, but not for its own sake, for good and healthy reasons.
I see.
So what's next? Are you going to explain to me why we're taking a 2-hour trip to some small town I've never heard of?
There's a certain kind of person who's great to be around, but when even the most minor thing goes wrong, they turn into a bitching, moaning nightmare, like a self-capsizing boat. And nobody's self-aware enough to admit that. You just have to coax it out with circumstances. It would be too expensive to do this at the airport, so here we are, taking the train out into the societal wilderness, like traveling back in time 23 years. To the lamest place ever. Nothing is open, not even the washrooms in the station. There's literally nothing to do. The next train home won't be here until midnight. Plus, it's unseasonably cold. Plus, you can't even use the lure of getting me in bed to soldier through it because we've already had sex. Checkmate. Pieces already back in the box, table folded, and put away. Your move.
Well, then let me just say, that's exactly what the book is. Thank you. It's not a ghost story. It's a story about the kind of person who becomes a ghost. Finally, someone who finds that obvious.
Christ, I know. You can be Robert Frost and win 4 Pulitzers and still have everyone interpret your work in the precise opposite manner in which it was intended, because all any reader can do is credit the writer with the same intelligence as their own.
And then I think of most of the college professors I had and...
Oh, adulthood is the precise moment when you realize most of your teachers were basically just random people with no special knowledge.
That can't be true because I'm definitely not an adult.
Are you sure? I only date adults, you see. Or at least a person who can hold a conversation for 3 hours in an abandoned train station.
Honestly, it's brilliant. There are two potential versions of every person, the one who's into you and the one who isn't. And it's always the process of determining which they are. Immediately having sex and taking a nightmarish road trip is a hell of a shortcut.
Yeah, I once read a possibly apocryphal article that in Iceland they just have sex first and ask questions later, and then you notice that their streets don't echo with the desperate laughter of dystopia, or at least less so.
Any questions then? Because I'd certainly go on a second date, but am I right for you? I'm not cool. I like candy and video games, and I have the kind of job where you have to dress up, but you're still poor. And I haven't said the F word since high school, and I'm still single at this age because I'm egotistical beyond my actual achievements. Plus, I have a bedroom full of outer space stuff. Lego rockets, ages 12 and up.
I literally have a NASA bikini, if that helps. Yeah, I have some questions. Sit back, imagine a future where we're together. How do you feel about quietly reading together? Museum memberships, feminist short film festivals, vegetarianism, being late for things because of sex, and never wanting kids, but then suddenly changing your mind 10 years from now.
I could easily see myself doing many of those things.
And dating someone who people stare at and who has no filter and will talk in granular detail about what's wrong with the world in a way that unsustainably blames the innate conformity of the average person and the unquestioned link between masculinity and power.
I cannot stress this enough. This is the most adult conversation I've had since college.
And dating someone like that who has this many tattoos and who goes to strip clubs all the time despite ostensibly being an intellectual.
I'm an honors student and I'm at least perversely curious about strip clubs. I'm honestly kind of relieved.
And someone who goes to strip clubs all the time because she works there and has chosen to do so for her entire adult life and always will work there. And then that's you, the honors student with the loudmouth sex worker girlfriend. Turbo date.
Well played.
I think at this age, people are single for a reason, and it's not going to be a bad reason, but it's going to be something that others judge you for or that they project their shame onto.
Oh, like how you have extended conversations with the imagined personification of your anxiety, so you can pretend you're not just talking to yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess whatever the reasons are, they're gonna weed out the judgmental assholes, but then what if I'm one of them?
No asshole would say that.
Also, it weeds out the cowards.
I see.
But I think the miserable aloneness of modern life proves we're all weeding out good people sometimes. So, I could have based my dating profile on all the visible stuff, never give you a chance to decide who I am, and then we'd never have adult conversations, never have literary reference sex, never leave reality, never have that feeling with another person when you have no idea what time it is, never instantly connect to someone who matches your own alienation like you're remembering them from the future, never leave the house today, none of it. We would never meet. Your call.
I'm only sort of saying this to seem benevolent, but just as a human being, I'm genuinely sorry that to find connection, you have to elaborately convince people how wrong they've been their entire lives. What?
Nothing. So, were you wrong?
So wrong. I mean, I never used to meet anyone, Sean.
Yeah, me neither, Brian.
Cheers to telling the truth by omission.
Well, it was either that or alcohol, and I'm so sick of it.
Of course, that's it.
Man, I do not miss being alive.
Doesn't fit. Ooh, I keep my weakness at bay. Ooh, it tries to claw its way to me, but I don't show no sympathy. No, 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 the way isn't easy, but this just is peace of mind.
Oh, wow. Flossie Brandenburg. Hi. Sorry if this is weird, but I'm a huge fan of yours. I see all your shows. You wouldn't have seen me because I always leave early to beat the crowds, but I'm always there. This is so cool.
Hi, Janice. Yeah, I noticed your business card on one of the seats after my show tonight.
Yeah, I figured it was worth a shot, but I didn't think you'd actually. Wow. Neat. So how's it going?
Oh, really good. I should say I don't usually
do this sort of thing.
I don't usually do this sort of thing, but I suppose sometimes I'm sort of,
Horny.
Horny, and, yes. I have a weird aversion to commenting on people's appearance. It feels extraneous to who they are as a person, but,
I think you're hot, too. And that's not why I come to your shows, but that is absolutely why I left the card. And if you're into sexually omnivorous tall people, then you asked for the right Janice.
Certainly I am. There's,
You're autistic, which most people barely know anything about, and which affects everything, including your gender and sexual identity. And if you're gonna be in a romantic thing with another person, then they really need to understand that, which they never do. Yeah, I read that interview you did. Honestly, you inspired the shit out of me, just as a human being in an inhuman world. Plus, hot. I'd very much like to buy you lunch and talk some more and see if there's any romantic chemistry. That's me unambiguously asking you out. That was the objective here.
That sounds really nice. I'd love to. Wow. This is easily the best $1,700 I've ever spent, Janice.
Oh, shit, I meant to comp you. Sorry, let me just...
Oh, even better. Oh, hey, Janice. I'm so sorry if I'm late.
No, I just like to be early. It's the one thing I do well. Nice outfit.
I basically only wear this outfit, so I'm glad if you like it. I literally have 12 of this shirt. It's a whole thing.
I'd love to understand that. It's like a sensory thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the way clothes feel against your body. It's so hard to find things that feel like they fit. If I look cool, it's not on purpose.
You do. Sorry, I know I'm probably more lecherous than you're comfortable with. I have no issue toning it down.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I think you're hot too. I don't say it. Except for just now. That's why I like you. You're so direct. I don't have to guess what you're actually saying. That's an autism thing. Like if I was subtitled, it would read the same as what I was saying. There's not really subtext. Whereas with neurotypical people, communication can be more indirect. So there's always kind of a language barrier.
God, that sounds so frustrating.
For someone else, life remains a funny.
It's okay, but thanks. I'm sure I'll get the hang of it eventually, if I meet the right people. Everyone's different. That's the advantage to being different, to have empathy for that. Sometimes I think my disability is just to actually be aware of how weird I am.
So you do think of it as a disability?
I mean, that's always a huge debate, but I've never wanted to be anyone else, even if I have to get weird looks for wearing hearing protection in daily life. If it's a disability, it's because you're not accommodated by the world, because there aren't enough of you to be worth accommodating. Rare moment of cynicism from me. Like anyone who's different, I have to manage in a world specifically designed for other people. Which is good in terms of having a different perspective. It makes me a good artist. But it's bad for feeling like you're from this planet. It's bad for feeling like there's constantly a glass wall between you and the normal things that don't come naturally to you, like eye contact or dating or sex or parties or supermarkets or malls or airports or gender roles or conventional geopolitics or, not info dumping about specific topics instead of asking someone how they're doing. Sorry.
I'm not sorry. I'm so not sorry that I want to get you dinner even if food is more expensive than poison these days. I read about this sensory-friendly restaurant downtown, and although the prices seem to be incongruent with a societally disabled lifestyle, I will be happy to pay. Like, Friday? 8 p.m.?
I've heard of that place, and I would love to have dinner with you on Friday at 8 p.m., Janice.
Right on, Flossie.
I've got to hit my daily steps. Would you like to go for a walk? Bonus points if you're as insanely fast of a walker as me.
Oh, I'm good. I'm just gonna answer some emails, but I'll meet you Friday. I'll be early, but you don't need to be.
Okay, perfect. I'll see you later.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
And then we texted later, but we had so much to say that it turned into a phone call. Like I didn't even have to think about it. It just happened. We talked for hours, and I remembered what it's like to be happy instead of just buzzing with anxiety like a fluorescent light.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
She doesn't care about my shitty apartment or how I'm an overeducated pervert loser. She just sees right through it to the content of my character.
Oh, baby.
You know what? I'm sorry. I just realized I completely forgot to change out of my street clothes.
What? Oh, no, it's fine. This is much wilder.
Okay, good. So, anyway, she makes me feel normal. And I already think I'm in love. And I'm so afraid of losing her.
I am not even missing that $1,700.
This is embarrassing, but I'm hopeless at reading other people. Usually I have to interpret things from context. Obviously, you might like me because you asked me to dinner, but how do you feel right now?
I feel really good. And that's not embarrassing. Your emotional honesty is a form of nudity I didn't know I wanted.
Thanks so much. Like, actually. I find eye contact so piercingly intimate, but maybe that works right now.
Works for me. Can I ask you something, Flossie?
Oh, certainly, Janice.
You're just cool. Do you think you'll ever not have to be thought of as different?
Well, for someone who literally gets disability payments, I'm, pretty adamant about difference, not disability. I think what's common to most people is that they don't regret the things that make them who they are, even if they're disadvantages. People like me are maybe 5% of the population, so I'll always be different. But there's how I felt when I kept it a secret, and there's how I feel now.
So you used to hide it. Tell me about that. Because I love just how comfortable with yourself you are, basically. How you just trust others to accept you.
Oh, that's only recent. My whole life I just pretended I wasn't autistic, because it's fucking hard to be different if you don't have to be. It is. All you do is worry about losing people because of who you are. Normal is like this exclusive club where everything is tailored to you, and if you can get a membership, then you can get those benefits too. And I've done that, and I still do it sometimes. I'll still pretend just to not have to reel off that long memorized explanation of how I'm different. Passing for normal is a privilege that's so hard to give up. But I don't regret it. Just like I don't regret being who I am. It's such a process getting there, though. It's so hard to walk away from that easy place where you don't have to explain yourself. Just to set out on a road to a place where nobody has to explain themselves. A road so long that you might never get there. But at least it means other people can follow you.
That's really beautiful.
Thank you, Janice. You're really beautiful.
Huh, well, thank you. I never hear that. People just assume I know.
All right, I have to autistically speed walk to the bus stop because if I don't go to bed at the exact same time every night, I won't sleep. Thank you for such a lovely dinner. How are you getting home?
Thank you. Oh, I'll get a later bus, actually. I'm just gonna answer a couple of emails.
Usually it takes me 2 years to feel comfortable around people, so you must be special.
I must indeed. Good night. Ah, the hell with it.
All right, that's fine. Everyone has a bit too much sometimes. I will have to ask you to leave, though, unfortunately.
Janice, I'm so sorry about the glass. I'm not drunk, I promise.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Can I help you at all?
Janice. My name is Janice.
You too, man.
Food's here. Not that I care if you eat, but there's no room in the fridge for leftovers. Thus, you fulfill the role of physically storing food that would otherwise spoil.
Cool story. Can I use the table first, or do you need it for your various futile meanderings?
Fine. You have 8 minutes. I'm receding back to my half of the apartment so we don't have to interact.
Yes, thank you for your approximation of humanity.
Thanks in advance for eventually dying alone in a parking lot.
Sure, and congratulations on turning a baby into some sort of chittering rat monster.
Sorry for being born.
Finally, an apology.
Hey, I'm just doing a video where I ask random people what song you're listening to.
No, you're not going to turn me into content. The only way to stop the machine is to ignore it. No, you know what? I'll tell you what I'm listening to. 7-methoxy-beta-carboline telepathine by Time Machines, which was a spin-off project of Coil. It's 23 minutes of scary noises that simulate drugs and time travel that I use to block out reality.
Oh, cool. Surprisingly common follow-up question. Why do you want to block out reality?
Because I'm that age that everyone is, but I can't make enough money even at jobs I hate to be able to afford my own place. So I'm stuck living with my hated sister in a shithole west of downtown designed for one miserable person at best.
Wow, that's crazy. Why do you hate your sister?
Realistically, because we had a rough childhood and were too consumed with self-care to be there for each other. And then the subsequent years of bitter resentment despite being different people now. But also because I don't like sharing a one-bedroom apartment with a mortifyingly loud sex worker, and she doesn't like sharing one with someone who has to declare their self-esteem based solely on future earnings, which can be whatever number you want, hence my entire personality. Since you asked, people don't listen to music. They block out the echoing chasms of life as the dreams of childhood mutated to the cries of the damned because it was all lies. There was no future and nothing will ever...
Well, I mean, I get it. I'm never home because of the noise from my neighbors, so I go on dates having suspiciously long dinners. I literally have a list of all the places with really slow service.
Yeah, doing anything to avoid going home is definitely an underrepresented genre of human activity.
Yeah. What do you do besides come here?
So honestly, my godsend is this app called 80s Friend, where you're anonymous BFFs with someone else in town. Do you know it?
No, but I love it.
Yeah, the basis is the more you know about someone, the less you like them. So here, you get to stay forever in a stage of a relationship where you only know enough about someone to think they're fantastic. Like having a friend in the 1980s where you just talk on the phone and that's all you do.
Oh my God, I wish it was the 80s, except for literally everything else that happened.
So here's my giant text history with whoever 2212. That's what everyone's called, of whoever, i.e., have a good night, whoever you are, etc. Or sometimes we do talk on the phone and it changes your voice to maintain the anonymity. Hey, I was just telling someone about you.
Nice. Hey, so you wanted to ask me something?
I do, but I'm about to be on a date. I'll call you later?
Sure, yeah. So, what were you saying about me? How super awesome I am, etc.?
Honestly, just how we've been through so much together. And never will there be the threat of catfishing or disappointment or romance or hatred, because I'll never know enough about you to feel any type of way beyond how I feel now. I love this app.
Oh, so that's who you're always on the phone with. That sounds fucking perfect. Why don't I know about this thing?
Yeah, it's amazing how human connection benefits from never having to live up to someone's image of you. Actually, that isn't amazing.
Well, I genuinely can't wait to establish an extremely close friendship with someone I never have to meet or look at. Sorry about your thing with your sister, anyway. I had no idea Janice had a brother. She told me your family died in a fire?
I'm dead to her, not actually dead. And vice versa. It's like we exist in split screen even when we're in the same room.
I mean, I basically have that relationship with all mankind, but yeah, sorry. Oh my God. Imagine if your anonymous friend turned out to be your sister. Plot twist.
Oh, I've had that thought, knowing what a practical joke reality in general is, but I know it's not her because we only tell each other the truth, and I've specifically asked them if they had a sibling that they wish were dead, and they said that they don't.
Oh, I was kidding, because I say weird, awkward things when I'm comfortable around someone, but that's great. Christ, where are our drinks? It's been like 45 minutes? This place is unbelievable.
I know, it's fantastic.
Oh, I definitely wish he was dead. More bad blood than a hospital after a extended power failure. How the Christ did you end up dating my brother? Has he mentioned yet how much he sucks, or is he building up to it?
Actually, he led off with that. It was kind of refreshing.
Yeah, well, not when you're stuck in the same 413 square feet as him because of all your money going to people already wealthy enough to own property, or however society can currently be described.
Is it that bad? I mean, I don't know. I'm what happens when you don't have siblings.
It's just, think of how little the world empowers us to be there for each other, and then multiply that by someone you're tied to for life. And then divide. It's mostly division.
Sorry, I guess that's why you're always at work? I mean, life is why I'm always at work.
Oh, I work from home too. I have to.
Oh, sweetheart! Yeah, there it is. I bet you think you're hard now, but you're gonna be harder than a cement factory after a catastrophic incident.
Hey, buddy. Sorry I'm busy doing whatever it is I do. Just leave a message on my huge 1980s answering machine.
Okay, so that thing I wanted to ask you, here it is. Right. I know the entire premise of this app is anonymity. It hides your location, it changes your voice, and I don't wish to challenge that. But I had an idea. I had an idea that we could still do something together without disturbing that premise. Kind of a weird, anonymous shared activity thing. I thought we could go to a movie together. A popular one where the theater would be full. We could go to the same screening at the same time, and we'll have no idea who the other person is, but we'd technically be seeing a movie together. And it would be kind of meaningful, I think. I don't know, I've been wanting to ask you for a while, so let me know what you think.
What was that?
Oh, I have mice.
Hey, I love mice.
Not me. I want to kill all mice everywhere until people don't believe that they ever existed.
Baby. Oh, yeah. So many mice. All for you.
Have you ever been in this kind of situation?
Independently on good terms with two people who hate each other? Yeah, with my family. I literally couldn't deal with it when I was younger. Now I just pretend it doesn't exist. On the plus side, I finally understand old people.
So, if I were someone who had human emotions and participated in society, what would that feel like?
I don't know. When you're young, you don't have the tools to deal with things properly, and then trust gets broken, and it just persists past the point of you evolving as a person. And then you have perfectly fine adults who hate each other. And then Christmas sucks.
Oh, yeah, I definitely pretend Christmas doesn't exist. I pretend everything doesn't exist. People, countries. I don't even look at social media anymore. I just walk from the couch to the fridge. I'm basically 95 years old at this point.
Oh, I'm 100.
You
just wish you could magically fix it? Because it's the person you're dating and you care about them?
Yeah, that.
And then people go to bars at like 11 p.m. on a Monday after telling their partner they have to work late?
Oh, I didn't need to. We actually had to work late.
Right.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I'm sorry for the short notice. I just really needed to get out of there.
No, I totally get it. I left work early too. Something in the air, I guess. Thank you for suggesting this. I was thinking of asking you the same thing.
That's so awesome. Honestly, just thank you for being there. It really means a lot. I think life is islands and bridges, and I'd do a whole lot more swimming if it weren't for you.
Wow. Yeah. I think we're pretty similar people, man.
It won't get you anywhere. Don't despair. It won't get you anywhere. It won't get you anywhere. Don't be the ones fighting for themselves. It won't get you anywhere. It won't get nobody else.
Sorry. I just wanted to say I love you. Not in a weird or romantic way, just in a best friend way where you enhance my life in a necessary manner. I love that. And thus, in whatever postmodern way, you as well. I hope I am always there for you too, whoever you are. And I hope you enjoy the movie.
Oh, dude, you've gotten me through so much. No one else gets it like you get it. I mean, I know you're pretty hard on yourself, but whoever you used to be, well, I'm so thankful for
Whoever you are now, I definitely love you. I hope you enjoy the movie too.
Hey, it's me, your boyfriend. Can I sit here?
I don't know, can you?
Is a thing happening here? A thing is happening here.
I was thinking, there are two kinds of people. Those who had a good time in school and those who didn't. And how that kind of defines your entire life. Because school never really ends in terms of social structures. You're still just walking around the cafeteria, trying to find a table, consequently defined by where you sit.
I went to about 5 different schools as a kid. I think I just ate lunch in the library with my imaginary friends half the time. If that's what you're wondering.
Oh, so did I. Just another decade of my life that I've blocked out. And I figured that about you. I mean, that's your whole appeal to me. We clearly have some huge ideological differences, but I know for a fact that if this was school, we'd both be at the weird table. And I mean that as a compliment.
But
is that enough?
Is what enough? Being fundamentally the same?
Are we the same?
We both think I'm unusually handsome, so yes?
Really?
Did I say something?
No, not at all. Not yet, at least. But will you? And then, once again, that moment where I realized the other person was someone else this whole time.
Okay, I get it. At this age, we've all been disappointed by enough people, enough times that...
The thing is, you don't get it. You can't get it. You'll say or do something that's reasonable to you, but then it'll be completely transformed by the last 100 people who said it to me. We aren't the same. I mean, we both know that. What we want, how we get it, how we talk, what we talk about.
So what? You've been reading back through my Facebook posts or something? My impromptu essays about capitalism taking the place of war so it's good, maybe? Which clashes with your anarchist sensibilities? My religious leanings, the people I follow, the podcasts I like where rich people laugh at their own jokes? There are two kinds of people, right and left, them and us.
Okay, I think I deserve more credit than that. That just sounds like something you'd say to someone else.
I don't want to talk to someone else. There absolutely are two kinds of people. Those who actually believe in what they say, and those who want to look like them for free. And I like you because you're the first kind of person. I don't even have to agree with you. And I would hope you would see the same in me, the same ideology. Sincerity.
And I absolutely do, but where do we diverge, though? If extended to their logical conclusions, do one person's opinions not ultimately preclude the validity of someone else's?
No, Christ, we evaluate each other's opinions like they were just elected emperor of the universe and are about to force all mankind to live by their decrees. But how much power does the average person have to actually do anything? It's just talk.
Yes, but talk normalizes things. It others people and makes them vessels for others' shame and thereby endangers their lives. You have more power than you think. Everything you say helps set one giant precedent, or everything you don't say.
Oh, please tell me this isn't the "your silence is deadly" speech. If you really want to piece together my character from my social media posts, or lack thereof, you'll be sorely disappointed. Maybe most people have trouble saying something that's more intelligent than silence. Maybe I'm silent because I'm goddamn listening.
Or maybe you're deeply insecure about it based on that reaction.
Look, I know what you mean about school. I remember being a kid when there was no political spectrum to label people with, and everyone was just who they were, and you could be friends with anyone. And maybe that was the right way to go about things, but it still ended with people all at different tables just to absolutely beat that metaphor to death.
Yes, but there were more than 2 fucking tables. It was something, at least. And then the real world, where if you're not one of us, you're one of them, and us is just anyone who reminds you of yourself, and them is everyone fucking else. And then it even infects the discourse on a personal level, because here we are, arguing about it, even though I very specifically don't want to, but I can't get past it.
I agree! I'm tired of this garbage narrative about how both sides need to understand each other, and then the two sides in question are imaginary at best. I never believed in ideology. The universe is way the hell too big for that. But all week, I get labeled with something or other so people can decide they already know what I think. So it makes them feel better about wasting their finite existence on everything except thinking. Just walking around, taking orders. Sorry, we need another minute.
There actually are 2 kinds of people, though. Us and extremists. And the more we fight with each other, the more they can pretend like they're normal. But I am not an extremist, surprisingly, and I hope you aren't either.
You know I'm not.
But who are you? A guy who goes to strip clubs but still won't post a selfie with me because, like everyone else, you like sex but project your shame about it onto the people who do it for a living. You fuck but you won't say fuck. And like all people through history, you place the responsibility for change on us because there are fewer of us.
God damn it, this is the most intelligent conversation I've ever had. So conflicted. That's a logical fallacy, though. There are fewer of you, therefore you're right. And I mean, I get it. It's certainly plausible that that's the case. But I don't want to be afraid to take selfies with you. It's the same forces you're talking about that infect everything. Everyone's afraid to look like one of them. I know you're not posting about me either.
you understand how hard it is for me to trust people? How even the most promising thing has to get vetted to fucking death because I can't take being disappointed on the level of you turning out to want to control my body, or help me get a real job, or use violence as a first resort, or be afraid to be seen with me, or anything else that's just the cultural norm. That's my whole life, and I've fucking been that to other people enough to know how easy it is to be dehumanizing. So if that's where this is headed, then it ends here. It does.
I just want to sit down.
That's what I want too.
Then what?
Then don't dodge the issue.
What is the issue? That there are two kinds of people, righteous feminist god queens and the knuckle-dragging scum who try to...
The issue is that I don't know you well enough to not care about how stupid what you just said is. I get older and I don't feel like I know anyone well enough. I go to a concert and the music is so beautiful, but then I'm scanning the orchestra, wondering which of them would sell me out to save themselves, which doesn't care who has to die so that they don't have to change, how little it might take for it to stop being an orchestra, because you never know where the line is with people, where nothing matters except themselves. That's the issue. No, I am not fun at parties.
Look, I know who I am and what I have and what I've accomplished. I know that I work harder than goddamn everyone. I'm one of the seemingly 10 people alive who actually cares about how good of a job they do. And I know where I came from and how distant it is from where I am now. And someday, my kids will benefit from the generational wealth that I created out of goddamn nothing. Out of nothing. That's who I am. I know what I have it instead of, and that's who I'll always be. I don't like swearing or being poor or being who I was in the past. I'm sorry if that doesn't say enough about me to convince you I'm not gonna ruin your damn life via my presence.
Yeah, I know what I have. I have values instead of normality, and honesty instead of respect, and I have self-expression instead of a future, and so fucking be it. So maybe I look at the people who buy into normality and buy into the validation, and I see what they have it instead of. Maybe one day you'll have more money than 50 of me, instead of having something you never even thought about. And maybe, like every other person in a suit, you fantasize about being with someone like me so you can occupy the same space as someone who aspires to the things you gave up on as soon as the peer pressure was too much. You think I haven't been hit on by that person about 10,000 fucking times?
Maybe I fantasize about being with someone with actual values and integrity and self-expression. Is that your big gotcha moment? Well, yeah, I'll admit it. Guilty. The suit guy's terrible secret revealed. He likes you.
Sorry, I didn't have anything prepared for you agreeing with that.
I'm not trying to teach you a lesson here. You could be wrong all week and still be more alive than most people. I get it. We've all spent our lives in a world where everyone's so full of it they'll pretend to care about things in a way that's somehow worse than not caring at all. But not everyone is as terrible and compromised as you imply. I hate this. I hate it.
I think we've all spent our lives in a world where any number of people would literally rather die miserable than give up the scapegoats for their misery that their prejudice affords them, and there's not a fucking thing you can say to change their minds, and I can't apologize if that affects how I see everything.
I see that. Believe me. I can apologize that I've been doing the whole thing where I'm fine with strip clubs, but somehow I'm uncomfortable dating a stripper, hating the player, but not the game. It's wrong, and I'm sorry. And I'm sure it's not even in the top 1,000 things that people have done to disappoint you. I'm just asking for more than the half a chance you're giving me. I don't expect it, but I could do a lot with it, Joan.
It is in the top 1,000, Brian. It's number 1, actually, because I never liked anyone this much before. I never intersected with someone from the same planet as me before. I never got mad at someone for their potential to deny me their own presence, whatever the word for that is.
Impotent rage of the universe, I think.
Well, thanks, I hate it.
Me too.
And right now, I believe you. But what's the word for when you genuinely mean something in the moment, but then a couple of days later you revert to some default mindset?
All I can say is right now, I've never wanted anything more than how much I want to get past our differences. I don't think there even are differences. I think there has to be some way to come to terms with this whole needless bisection of society thing without losing what we have.
Well said. I think the short version is that as people, we blame each other for the ways in which society as a whole has failed us.
Really well said.
And you can sure as hell get past the idea that you're dating a stripper. You're dating me. And I'm this, and I have these opinions, and I don't strip, I dance. So come by the club next week and I'll show you what you've been missing.
I will. I look forward to seeing that.
Then hopefully it's at least comparable to what I was missing when I wasn't dating you.
Because you always fantasized about occupying the same space as an uptight, money-liking suit guy who can teach you about the world of not having values?
Ha, but no. Because I always had it in my head that there were two kinds of people. Me and everyone else.
Yeah.
And then we met, and it wasn't true anymore, and I just can't risk it being true again.
Then is anyone sitting here? Or...
Go for it.
Why did you even swipe on me originally?
I thought I was done with dating, but I can't really explain it, but you somehow feel familiar, like I'm remembering you from the past or the future or some other universe where we already met.
Yeah. It's weird, but that's how I feel about you too.
Hi, can I sit here?
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, I literally need food fast. What's the least poisonous thing you have?
Oh, we've done a lot to keep up with modern food trends. So the standard CD burger is comparable to what you'd get in a restaurant, calorie-wise and ingredients-wise, but not price-wise. All the information is available in our pamphlets, but if you're not sure, I would just recommend the basic number 3 meal. And you can get that with fries or a salad. That's what I usually get, and you'd think I'd get sick of the food here, but I never do, so it's probably pretty good.
Thanks, that's actually really helpful. I didn't think anyone cared about their jobs anymore. Yeah, number 3 would be great.
No worries. Thank you for eating at CD Burger.
You know what I think about a lot? Okay, and now I'm gonna talk really fast so you can't yell out.
Sex?
Okay, fine, yes. But also, I think about Star Trek a lot. And I'm sure that that's common in a world that constantly finds new ways to go backwards. You know, let's all imagine a better future where we granularly debate the ethics of scientific exploration instead of worrying about how to find money every month to send to the few people who don't need money. But I think about it in a different way because, well, I'm different and special. I think there's actually one super negative thing about Star Trek. And no, I don't mean that one episode of Voyager where they all turn into lizards. Okay, I've come to realize that that was a completely fine story, until the end where they had to reset the universe for next week, which is not a thing in real life. In real life, you are just a lizard forever. What I mean is, okay, and think about this, what's one really good thing you notice is weirdly absent in Star Trek, compared to how things are now? Here's a hint. I'm literally doing it right now.
See, intellectually, I know nothing has ever looked like this, and yet I would never say a painting was photoshopped.
Oh my god, I know. Like, what's the difference? I've always thought they should have to put an actual photo of the person or the landscape beside the painting just for transparency. Just to show that everything has always basically been visual metaphors.
Do you think any artists ever,
conceptualize their personal issues as a visible apparition and then actually painted it?
Ooh, good question.
No, it isn't.
That must be a genre.
Right? Most things you suspect must exist usually do.
No, they don't. You're wrong. You're... Okay, never mind.
Art! Art is missing from Star Trek. Escapism. Getting drunk and listening to an equally drunk guy talk about something that isn't the problems in your life. YouTube instead of working. Music instead of silence. Video games instead of the past and future. Star Trek doesn't have those things. Yeah, they have whimsical holodeck programs and occasionally somebody does a painting or something, but it's an afterthought. It's not the point of the spaceship. They don't have art like we have art. And why is that?
I like this guy, I really do. But it's tenuous, him being somewhat leery of the optics of romantically pairing with a borderline insane sex worker. So, I meticulously convinced him to struggle against the current of societal pressure and come down here and watch me on stage. It was like pulling teeth, but he finally promised to come tonight. And I spent like 3 weeks designing this hyper-elaborate dance routine in an attempt to single-handedly convey the value of my art form to him and also justify my choices in life. Because it's the first time I've ever been in love. All these other words, they're fucking just window dressing for that one.
Nice.
Checklist. Reserved seat with a single rose, which is so cheesy it loops back around to being romantic. Check. Visual presentation thoughtfully incorporating a bunch of things he mentioned offhand over the past few weeks. Check. Searing intestinal upset due to nerves and/or fast food. Yes. Casually admitting personal things to people in the vicinity. Check. Losing my mind due to unprecedented anxiety. Check and mate.
Ah, nice to meet you. You're wearing that?
Oh, Christ, I'm on next. He'll be arriving right now, exactly on time as always. Not sure how he got to this point in life, and I've got like 6 minutes to convince him of the beauty of my work and existence. Can I do this?
Yes.
It's easy to decide that a utopia wouldn't have art in it because art exists to distract from the bad things in life, and in the future, they don't have any bad things. But we sure as hell do. And since the time of caves, we've always made art. You're gonna die of old age when you're 32 or get trampled by a mastodon that you probably provoked anyway. So you can at least draw a nice picture that's still proving you existed like 60,000 years later. I have to believe that art is as huge a part of being alive as food and companionship.
2 garden burgers with sweet potato fries and 2 Coke Zeros. Thanks so much for eating at Seedy Burger.
Man, this is actually way better than the garbage we serve at work. We literally just shape piles of salt into food with a big stencil.
Better service here, too.
Better service, too, as opposed to me unconvincingly interacting with the customers.
Oh, whatever. I had a crush on you forever because of you and how goddamn super nice you are. And I know your job is to get tips, but I can't help but take people at face value. Luckily, you actually did like me.
That's because she doesn't know you.
Okay, to be fair, I like everyone, but yeah, you're better looking than them at least. Do you want to, I don't know, swing by work later and hang out while I'm goddamn super nice to customers?
She's just asking because she knows you'll say no, so then she can end it.
Hell yeah I do.
Oh, he says that, but that's why ghosting is so unexpected, because they were lying to your face.
Hey, I might be a ghost, but I just want to say, good for you. I always knew you could be attractive to someone and then date them, and it's great to see. Even if I'm technically not seeing it.
And he never will.
Because having problems, but fucking doing things anyway, is a huge part of being alive. Can you just strip that out and have a future without it? Don't people need to dance? Reset the universe and everyone stops needing the things we've needed up till now? I doubt it. Because I think the one flaw of any utopian vision is that creating beauty out of horror is who we are. And I don't just mean art. I mean beauty we create every day. The way your friends always have time for you and your problems, even though they have their own problems. The way people find each other despite their issues. Or even try to find each other. The way we do things despite our anxiety, or the people we've lost that will never see what we found. The way you just sometimes have to fucking smile and perform in indirect proportion to what's going on inside. How scary it is the way we can hide it, but how that makes us the same. And then one day, we don't have to hide. That place you go to, that beauty you create. It's easy to say it's faking it but never making it, or grinning and bearing it. But it's more than that. It has to be. Because we deserve to feel good about how courageous we are despite everything that happens to us. Because think of a world if we couldn't create or find love or perform because it didn't reflect everything that we are. That's the problem with any utopia. We're performers, and sometimes it sucks and requires pain that I absolutely am not going to tell you about. And I'm sorry this isn't funny, but just imagine how funny I'll be next time. This is just where we are. It's where we've always been. That's something I think about a lot, what we turn our pain into. I'm grateful for everyone who's trying so hard, despite how hard it can be. I think that's who we are. All we can do is be ourselves and create beauty so that someone else might eventually walk towards it.
Hey, do you, Hey, I'm just doing a video and... Okay, no worries. Hey, I'm just doing a YouTube thing where I ask random people what you're listening to.
Well, usually I'm listening to the sound of traffic, people in cars I could never afford going past, like fast travel in a video game, while I walk somewhere that's way before their first stop, watching them go and wondering where they're going and what it's like there, or feeling like I'm supposed to feel that way, being dirt poor and all. I realize you're asking what music I'm listening to, but fucking with people is free entertainment.
No, that's cool. Honestly, I only run the videos where people have weird answers. They get way more views.
Oh, I get it. I'm a YouTuber myself, so I know exactly what it takes to cultivate an audience. Hey guys, today's video is gonna be a banger. This is it, the big one I've been kinda teasing for a few weeks.
Finally!
Oh, my friend Ted is watching IRL. Does that count as a view?
I'm watching, aren't I? Yeah.
All right, yeah. Just add one to whatever the view count is. Anyways, for everyone watching, I'm gonna dish the dirt now and tell you about my absolute favorite album ever. I can't wait to tell you about it.
One sec. I have to get all my ideas out before I get successful, and all my jokes are about how I'm afraid of losing my success.
Oh, even I am too left-wing for most comedy specials. Hey everyone, I haven't left the grounds of my mansion in 55 months. Here are my super relatable observations on modern life.
It's amazing how much more specific you'd have to be for me to know which special that is. Hi, by the way. I didn't know you were coming. Thanks for being here for my show, even though you know the much worse early drafts of all my jokes.
Thanks for being friends with me for 20-ish years, even though you know the much worse early drafts of me.
Hey, it's fine. I wasn't busy. So, what's up? You're doing that lack of eye contact thing when things aren't completely fine?
Thanks for noticing. What's up? I don't know. Even for me, it's hard to bring up, and you could probably pick my vomit out of a lineup the number of times I've brought it up at parties like a magic trick. How does she fit it all in there?
Okay, let me be clear. I've brought up things that my parents would disown me for, but you're always just like, dude, it's fine. Like you're from some other planet where nobody judges. So there's nothing you can't confront me with. That's who we are. You can't buy that. You have to create it.
Well, Theodore, I've been seriously considering asking you to be in a relationship, but I'm afraid even saying that could make me lose you as a friend. So feel free to not listen.
No, I'm listening. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, I'm either causing friend emergencies or solving them.
It's unsolvable, though. I temporarily was brave enough to ask her out, and somehow she said yes, but I'm a loser, and she is going to notice that at some point.
Dude, you already passed the interview. I don't think she cares about what you aren't.
I care, though. Not about her faults, of which there are none, but definitely about mine.
Yeah, well, ain't it like that? I don't know. I'm someone who got talked into applying to grad school and somehow got in but couldn't afford to go, whatever genre of person that is. And when they designed my character, they put the minimum points into expectations, so I'm not one to talk. But I'm pretty sure you're a good person. Mostly because you don't think you are, which is the fucking biggest clue.
I am literally insane. I actually worry about if time travelers from the future are coming back here to enjoy my hapless buffoonery like a living meme.
No bad or insane person would say that, dude. They would just blame someone else for how they were feeling.
Yeah, but maybe I'm still just slightly sane enough to realize how insane I am, but not enough to prevent any further.
No, look, fuckface, shut up for a second. If you're gonna decide how other people feel about you, then at least tell them to their face. Text her to meet up, and when she immediately answers yes, and then lights up with a huge smile when she sees you, you fucking tell her how much she hates you. And I guarantee one of her friends is telling her the same thing. Can't pay the bills, but damn it, this I can do.
Oh my god, relatable content.
That's why I love this game. I always have $5,000,
right? Plus, I don't question my role in this partnership.
Hey, if you can ride with me, you can ride with anyone.
It's just, my relationship kind of feels like two people who both think the other's too good for them, whatever that genre of person is. It's hard. Sorry, I'm literally crazy. Surprise!
Whatever. I mean, I've only known you for 20 minutes, but you fully deserve happiness in life. The people I run into who don't suck just stand out by a mile. So take it from me that you should probably just fucking go for it. 'Cause you're not crazy.
Wow. Thanks for saying that.
Someone reminded me of that today, so I'm gonna remind you. If you lack anything, it's perspective. Like, have you ever been on a date where you're just doing like normal things that come naturally to you and the other person's like, oh my god, I so rarely get treated this kindly, and you're mystified because you just thought everyone was treating each other like human beings all the time? Well, guess what? Now you have. Because most people are not as nice as you or as respectful or as worried about bothering me. Even if you accidentally bother me by worrying too much about bothering me, you're not insane. Like all good people, you're different from a world that's insane. And not everyone is naturally comfortable with that kind of non-conformity. Hence the problem to begin with. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, oh my god, shut the fuck up, you fucking idiot.
That is the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Okay, well, let it be the second nicest then. You're hot and lovely, and let's obviously date and trust each other, because I always wondered why I was always so unsure about dating, and it was because I wasn't into people like I'm into you.
Well, then let me say I feel the exact same. Plus, once you said you never felt beautiful, and I assumed you were kidding, and I still do, because you're literally the most beautiful.
Okay, now definitely shut up.
I just always assume the true path is the hardest one. So I keep thinking this is too easy, and I should be taking you aside and telling you how secretly horrible I am and how you should get out now, and so you don't invest a bunch of years until one day we're celebrating our 40th anniversary at breakfast and I pour you some orange juice and I'm like, oh, you know who loved orange juice? My brother. My brother who preventively killed himself because we all just left him alone all the time. Or at least it sure feels that way when I'm imagining talking to him for hours a day as some kind of penance and so on, etc. And oh my God, what am I even doing?
As someone who has very secretly considered suicide at least twice, I'd much rather know that about you than not know, because it means that you're thinking about it. And that's how people evolve, right? As much as all I ever want to do is say whatever will make other people feel better, regardless of my own feelings, I actually do mean that.
Okay, well, I definitely mean it when I say how glad I am you're still here. What's insane is the kind of people this world is so hard on.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I have a very particular set of skills, and then, some handsome, gender-fluid future kids who make me obsolete are going to exist because of people taking my advice about shacking the fuck up already.
I literally wasn't going to meet up with her again because I'm thinking I'm not good enough.
And I've been there. I'm always there. I'm literally flipping burgers for former classmates, or whatever the cliche is. But I don't know. I would date me. I can follow the plot of an 80s straight-to-video action movie while having sex, and everyone who hated me at first is lifelong friends with me now. And I have taste in music the way the French art gallery has specific paintings. I would date the hell out of me, and pay for dinner. And that's gotta be worth something.
That's gotta be worth a lot, because you're the fucking best. You do have the best taste in music, by the way. Who are you listening to right now?
Well, I've just been listening to that inner voice that gets you to do things to make it shut up. I wish it was another whimsical anecdote about growing up as a brain-dead hillbilly from out west, but this is where we are. Boy, I don't have nothing but my porn and video games. I can't even feel the pain no more. Sorry, but they're maybe selling my building and rent-evicting everyone so my rent will triple wherever I end up moving to. But if we were in a relationship, then at least it would be half of triple. Just the kind of things I have to consider as a peasant here in the 17th century.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if getting betrothed to the nearest gentleman is the answer, but, I get it.
Maybe we're not sexually compatible, but I could learn to like strap-ons. How hard could it be? Pun retroactively intended. It would be scary, but everything is scary at first.
Yeah, but having to meticulously rationalize it is probably a sign that you maybe shouldn't. Because I never once have questioned our friendship.
Neither have I. And I don't want to either. They spend all week pointing their fingers in my face telling me that I have nothing. Oh, and yeah, they'll have fries with that. But thanks to you, I at least stopped telling people I have no family. Because you're clearly my brother.
Goddamn right I am. But as siblings, we could also just be roommates. If you want?
Yeah. Yeah, of course we could. Sorry, I went straight to incest.
This is the 17th century.
As roommates, I guess I just worried about how you'd explain me to girls you bring home.
I'll tell them, this is Martha, my best friend.
Okay.
Right?
I think a lot about how if we hadn't met back in the day, we'd never meet now. We barely intersect other than our shared history. But that's why it's worth so much, that we did meet. And now I can just think out loud instead of having to bring you an edited version of myself.
That is worth everything. I can't even imagine how shitty my act would be without all the years of your brutally honest notes. Also that, but my life. I will never not listen to you.
So, who were you listening to?
Do you actually want to know, or is this like a pretext to talk to girls who look appealing from a distance?
Why not both? Honestly, I see you around here, and I know nobody's how they look, but how bad could you possibly be?
And that's fair. I like how you look too, so if we never say another word, it's a perfect relationship. How much do you make doing videos that people actually watch? I always wonder.
Oh, I only get like 100,000 views. The videos are basically a loss leader, but my whole thing, social media, I do all right. Adult money, surprisingly.
That's really cool. Congrats, man. I definitely aspire to that, even just the adult part. Maybe that's why I buy records, like adults did when I was a kid.
Sorry, let me start recording again. So, what are you listening to?
Hey guys, so this is my absolute favorite album ever. Dirt, by Yamantaka Sonic Titan. And if you have absolutely no clue who that is, that's kind of why I mention it. I've never heard of them either. Didn't even know they were local. I just randomly saw the album and bought it because of the cover, which I never do, but I did. And then I put the needle down and holy shit, suddenly an alternate reality I never knew existed. Just 42 minutes of the most epic, world-eating metal, like if prog was reinvented to be an expression of all humanity. Like if you had a dream about some impossible super album, but then you wake up and there it actually is. I don't know how you're supposed to describe music, but the bass lines were like a bullet hell shooter and the guitars could cut trees in half. And you could hear their souls when they all sang. And just the whole thing of how have I not fucking heard of this? And then, you rush online to learn about the band, but there's just an outdated Wikipedia entry. And their social media stops in its tracks 4 years ago and you realize you hadn't heard of it because most people hadn't. It was just something unique and amazing, off in a corner somewhere because someone wanted it to exist. For its own sake. But I guess that can only last so long. And then I think about all the stuff like that, all the other indie bands good enough to eat the world, but it never happens. Not that I would wish global success on my worst enemy, but you know what I mean. What else is out there that you've never heard of? And then, yeah, you kind of have to decide pretty quickly what's valuable to you. Because, I spend all week watching people in nice cars drive past me to places I'll never go. In a city that's basically a giant billboard that says money has to be valuable so the people who have it can be special. I've never had money. I assume I never will. I'm great at being young. But if you age me up, just look out. Like a band that makes the album of their lives and then nothing else because the money wasn't there. But that album fucking exists. It's like an artifact from a better universe where everything is sustainable. And I think all good things are like that. They exist despite everything, despite only having an effect on a few people. I have that at least. I've spent all day having it. But can you decide that what you have is worth something? Can you decide for yourself that some obscure album is the greatest thing ever, even though nobody else is telling you that? So I'm glad you asked because that's what I've been listening to actually. The people in my life, the music that reminds me that my favorite thing can exist, the voice inside that says nobody's heard of me either, but I know for a fact that I affect others because they sure affect me. So yeah, I'm gonna hit play again, and maybe my coat is torn and frayed and my feet fucking hurt, and it's permanently almost tomorrow, but I'm gonna walk down the street, and maybe someone will notice me, and maybe they'll keep watching, and maybe they'll wonder where I'm going, and you know what? Maybe they should.
Since consciousness is such a rare disease, let's take some architecture lessons from the trees. Won't happen by design, but we're bound to turn out fine. You can feel solutions blowing in the breeze. I know we're gonna make it.
Hi, are you together? Do you guys need a second?
I mean, we tried dating a few months ago because we're surprisingly similar people, despite me being a foul-mouthed museum of sex organs and him being a heartwarming PG-13 movie about the corporate ladder. But I guess the more similar you are, the more illuminated the few differences become.
That's a polite way of saying I'm an ass.
Aw, since when am I polite? You absolutely fucking blew it like a 50-foot trumpet.
Well said.
Yeah, I thought so. But you know what? Then he apologized. Actually. Rule of thumb, you can tell when an apology is sincere when it describes the problem better than anyone else.
The problem being that if she didn't spend half her time forgiving people, then there'd be nobody in her life. And that's not right.
Well said.
And also, I have a lot of things I'm afraid of being judged for that I project onto her.
Back at you. Sometimes you realize that if you weren't spending the other half of your time wishing someone was slightly different, then you could be friends. Like the best friend from school you never had.
Nobody cares how naively idealistic and sexually outrageous their friends are.
Plus, single, independent people are cool?
I know, it's a paradox how attractive independence is.
Right?
But seriously, probably within 5 minutes of meeting you, I got it into my head that I'd want to know how your story goes. That I'd want to be here for the rest of it. And I do.
I love you too. So we're not together, because we like each other too much, so this isn't a date, but it's not just lunch. Though we're not fucking, though we have and easily could again, though it's paradoxically more special for me to not sleep with someone I like, and him as well.
Whatever the word for that is.
Thinking your friends are hot?
Absolutely.
Yes. And I'll get the authentic veal haggis, by the way.
And I will have whatever the exact molecular opposite of that is.
How about you guys? Do you know what you want?
Yes, but we're just hanging out for now. Being in the same place, sort of living in parallel rather than being a couple. Because mentally we both need a lot of alone time, but also have a lot of love to give. And I don't think either of us knew it was the kind of thing that existed, so we didn't know that we could look for it. But then the upside to masochistically being yourself all day is that occasionally you do end up in the same place as someone else who's there for the same reasons you are. And, oh God, you meant do I know what I want to order, didn't you?
Wait, if you don't confirm that, she can't dwell on it for the next 3 weeks.
So noted. And that's cool. So you're together?
Maybe. Maybe we're dating, or maybe we're just hanging out. I don't know what's classified as what.
Maybe it doesn't matter.
But it's always going to be like that with me. I never know if I'm somewhere normal because I don't know what normal is.
Maybe a lot of us feel that way.
But there are certain expectations you have, and maybe I can't meet them because they don't even occur to me. And maybe in retrospect, this will all just be something that didn't go anywhere. And maybe I don't want to waste your time because that would be horrible.
Maybe the way to avoid hurting people is to worry about hurting them.
But maybe I'll never be ready the way you deserve. Maybe it'll be a year or two before I'm ready for physical intimacy and living together and other normal things. And maybe you'll have to wait for things that I know you want and you could easily find somewhere else.
Well, maybe I've always wanted to care about someone that much.
Okay, a strong maybe.
We'll have omelets.
Maybe you will. Okay, great. Hey, I always see you guys in here. Thanks for coming by so much. I always wondered, are you together or...
Oh, we're family. I mean, not literally, but also, yes.
Not that I haven't solemnly proposed anal sex. For purely economic reasons.
Plus, I borrow her clothes sometimes.
Not even shirts, like things you would not expect.
Also, I dyed my hair because she did.
I thought I did because you did.
Also, we live together.
But we're not together.
Whatever the word for that is.
Makes sense to me. Actually.
Oh, nice.
Hey, table for two?
Maybe a
booth? Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry, what did the sign say? Anti-Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it's just to acknowledge that the stereotypical world of either being single or a couple is an outdated thing, which I feel like is somewhat borne out by reality.
Oh, yeah, that's really cool. We're honestly just a boring traditional couple, though.
Yeah, just two normal people who like each other very much.
Very much.
Oh, it's not to take away from the traditional, just to add to it. So, how'd you guys meet?
Oh, do we have to?
Oh, okay. Well, I was born just a few decades ago, but it feels like another era entirely. And then I grew up watching TV shows that prepared me for the past, but not for the future. And school, well, prepared me for everything except finding my own direction. And then I was working a really good 9-to-5, but my anxiety, which I imagine as an entity that follows me around, made me too afraid of losing what I had. So I, of course, ended up losing it. And then I got a job in a dive bar where the owners forget to pay taxes. So they'll have to sell the building eventually, but at least the drinks are cheap. And yeah, I'd I'd been there for a couple of years.
And then, yeah, I was born and I did all that other stuff too. And then I moved to this city on a whim to kind of start over after my brother died. And I eventually discovered her bar through some friends. They're actually sitting right over there. Remind me to introduce you. Who I met at a super weird support group for people who were secretly gigantic losers.
Secret Losers Anonymous. I was also in that group for a second. Also, in retrospect, it wasn't anonymous in any way.
Yeah, also, I stopped going because I thought I was still too much of a loser compared to everybody else.
That's why everyone stopped going.
And yeah, I recognized her at the bar, and then I was too afraid to ask her out because of the,
Say it.
The apocalyptic self-esteem problems that we share.
And then you were talking to your dead brother?
And then I was talking to my dead brother at the bar, and I just said, fuck it, and I drank what turned out to be $72 worth of gin. And I stumbled over without even introducing myself, and I asked her if she thought Fraggle Rock was a metaphor for the Manhattan Project.
And I pretended to know what that was because I just felt so protective of him since he was the least obnoxious person to approach me all week, so I let him non-sexually crash at my place because the imaginary personification of my anxiety told me not to, so I intentionally did the opposite because I've been working on my issues for a few years now, and my inner doubts are getting easier to ignore. Not always, but usually.
That's an absolute chore with her lately. Outright defiance.
And yeah, we kind of kept in touch on social media, and then I liked this one post about never being ready for relationships.
Which you overanalyzed.
And I just assumed that was it for us, so I wrote her this whole long message that I'm just mortified by now.
Oh, it was glorious.
But I'm old enough to read between the lines, and it was actually super sweet. Like someone waving goodbye, but then you notice how nice their hands are, and then you turn that into a hello instead.
And then I insisted she ask me out, because I've always been internally wrestling with who I actually am versus societal gender expectations.
And I was comfortable with that because I secretly struggle with the same kind of things. I mean, if I wasn't born a million years ago, I'd probably be non-binary.
Oh, yeah, me too. So it balances out. And then, yeah, we kind of hesitantly met up a few times, briefly thought we were finished because we were both waiting for the other to make a move, both kind of broke the silence at the same time, and then we spent like a week discussing our darkest fears and secret shames.
How I'm literally his best friend, despite technically not existing.
Well, technically, Calvin and Hobbes is a comic about a kid who spends all his time in the woods talking to himself, so...
Yeah, he can't hear me, so you just sound crazy, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Non sequitur. But, yeah, that's true, actually.
Oh, no, sorry, I was talking to him.
And he was talking to her.
About how you'll never escape me, so every relationship you have is a throuple.
My anxiety problems are like being in a throuple.
And my relationship with my past is like a whole other person, so it's like a,
quadruple?
Exactly.
But despite that, I found someone where I'm not editing my text for 5 minutes. I just always know what to say because I'm not afraid to say it. And it almost never happened.
But it did. And you know, if I was here, I'd say, you got this. So, you got this, man.
And getting here was wild. You know, I almost got expelled from school for stealing pencils, and I almost never moved here, and I almost, a lot of things, you know, almost never asked her out, almost never met, but then we did, because gradually, I got this.
Me too. So yeah, guy meets girl. Just the normal stuff.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Hi, I know you're not together.
No, I was just using the opportunity presented by the discount mimosas to inform my estranged pervert sister that I'm kicking her out of the apartment.
And I was just telling my insufferable South Park libertarian brother that I gleefully accept his offer of not having to live with him anymore.
And I was just explaining to my working below potential professional victim nightmare sibling that I only accidentally heard about a really affordable ground floor sublet that would make life easier for her in her politically correct life challenges, and I'm only grudgingly passing along the information.
And I was just extending a rope down into the depths of the ignorance of my egomaniac, sibling in name only, professional betrayal service team leader that if I said thank you, it would probably be strained and fake and not like thanking another normal person.
And I was just saying that I hope your new circumstances can elevate you to a better life. And then when we reach an age where we're better able to have compassion for our younger selves, I'll be able to admit we're related to each other.
And then we'll cry and stuff. Not yet, though. Right now, fuck you.
So, yeah. Anyway, we're, that.
Whatever the word for that is.
Family, I think. Enjoy, and best wishes to you guys. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, you too. It's good to see you.
You guys know each other?
Oh, we went on one date and then connected in a fundamental way, but I fucked it up by objectifying him in ironically the same way people do to me. But then I apologized in a series of 2 a.m. Instagram messages.
Extensively describing the problem better than I could have.
And now we're casually friendly, but with an underlying thing of the potential for something deeper.
Like just enjoying that there's someone out there from maybe the same planet as you and cares how upset you are, and maybe that's enough.
Or maybe it could be more.
And either way, seems equally right, so who knows?
And then I'm just rambling even more than usual, nervous about something or nothing, but in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever the word for that is.
I see.
Oh, I know. I'm still looking for the kiosk where I can trade in internet upvotes and Fortnite wins for real life money.
Oh, nice. Do you play?
Yeah, totally. You?
Yeah, I love it. Oh, we should play sometime.
Fuck yeah, we should.
Well, thanks. Whatever we are, I certainly didn't expect it. I'd have a hard time explaining it, but I'm pretty sure I enjoy it.
When I want to know what I really think about something, I don't think about how it feels. I think about how it would feel to no longer have it. And then I'm sure as hell glad it exists. Whatever you want to call it.
Two people who know each other in the same room in a world actively trying to prevent those things, so fucking cheers.
Well said, my friend.
Yeah, I thought so.